Ever wonder what it takes to become the backup plan for an entire species? Turns out, all you need is a spacesuit, a century of patience, and the willingness to wake up in a cosmic graveyard. Welcome to your new job description. So here you are, standing in a sterile facility somewhere on a dying Earth, where the soil refuses to grow anything except regret, and the air tastes like a science experiment gone wrong. You've just been selected for the mission of all missions. Your task is simple. Really travel to the nearest potentially habitable planet and ensure humanity doesn't become a cosmic footnote. But there's a catch, because there's always a catch. The journey will take decades, maybe even a century or more, depending on which rock in space drew the lucky number. You won't be awake for it, of course, that would be inefficient and psychologically catastrophic. Instead, you're getting strapped into a cryogenic pod that looks suspiciously like a high-tech coffin. The scientists assure you it's perfectly safe, that thousands of simulations prove you'll wake up exactly as you went to sleep. They don't mention the small percentage of failures, but you've read the fine print. Before you freeze yourself into human storage, there's the farewell tour to consider. Do you say goodbye to everyone you know, fully aware they'll be dust by the time you open your eyes again? Or do you ghost your entire life and hope the emotional weight doesn't follow you across the stars? The ship itself is a marvel of desperation engineering, every system redundant, every contingency planned for, except of course, the contingencies no one can predict. Micrometeorite impacts, solar radiation, degradation, equipment failure during year 73 when there's no one awake to fix it. You launch on a Tuesday, which feels anticlimactic for the survival of humanity. The Earth shrinks behind you, a blue marble turning brown at the edges. The last transmission you receive is someone wishing you luck, their voice already crackling with distance. Now imagine you're frozen, suspended between life and death, while the ship hurtles through the void at speeds that would make your high school physics teacher weep. Time becomes meaningless. Decades pass like seconds you'll never experience. When you finally wake up, groggy and disoriented, the first thing you check is the communication array. You send a message back to Earth, a simple, "We made it, we're alive," and wait for the response. It should take years, given the distance, but you wait anyway. The planet outside your viewport looks promising enough. Atmosphere checks out, water signatures detected, temperature ranges within acceptable parameters. It's not Earth, but it's close enough for government work, except there's no government anymore, is there? Your team begins the landing protocols. Each person moving through routines practiced 10,000 times back when Earth still had breathable air. The descent is rougher than simulated. Turns out, simulations don't account for the specific atmospheric quirks of a planet no human has ever touched. You establish the base, set up the life support systems, begin analyzing the soil and air with equipment that's somehow both cutting edge and a century old. The data streams back to Earth, reports on everything from mineral composition to potential microbial life. You wonder if anyone's reading them. Then comes year 97, since launch, roughly 20 years after your arrival. You've been sending regular updates, scientific logs, status reports, shouting into the void with the hope someone's listening. The math is simple, but brutal. Your signals take decades to reach Earth, and decades more for any response to return. You check the incoming transmission buffer every day, a ritual of hope against mounting evidence. Nothing. Not a single response to any message sent since arrival. The possibilities multiply in your mind like bacteria in a petri dish. Maybe Earth finally collapsed under its own pollution. Maybe they solved their problems and forgot about you. Maybe they're trying to respond, but your receivers are damaged beyond your ability to repair. Here's where it gets philosophically uncomfortable. You might be the last humans anywhere. Your small crew of specialists and scientists, frozen for decades and now thawed on an alien world, could represent the entire surviving population of your species. No pressure. The cloning facilities you brought suddenly shift from backup plan to primary strategy. You've got genetic material from thousands of donors, carefully preserved and cataloged. The ethics seemed clear back on Earth when this was purely theoretical. Now you're staring at vials that might contain humanity's only future. You begin the process, growing humans in artificial wombs with technology that would have been science fiction just centuries ago. The first generation emerges perfect and terrifying, Children with no parents except machines and scientists playing God without divine guidance. They'll never know Earth, never understand what was lost. Meanwhile, you're planting seeds literally. Genetically modified crops designed to adapt to alien soil, terraforming on a microscopic scale. Some take root. Some wither mysteriously despite perfect conditions on paper. The silence from Earth becomes permanent, a fact rather than a fear. You hold a memorial service for a planet you're not sure is dead, for billions of people who might still be alive but are effectively ghosts. Someone cries, someone else makes a joke about long-distance relationships. Your mission parameters never accounted for this scenario, the complete communication breakdown, the possibility of being truly alone. You were supposed to be a colony, an outpost, a new branch of human civilization. Instead, you might be the trunk, the roots, the entire tree. The advanced science that seemed so impressive during training now feels like insufficient magic. You can clone humans, sure, but can you clone a culture? Can you recreate thousands of years of art, music, literature, stupidity, and brilliance from a database and a handful of memories? Your days become a strange mixture of profound responsibility and mundane survival. Morning means checking oxygen levels and teaching clone children about a planet they'll never see. Afternoon means tweaking genetic sequences and wondering if you're making the same mistakes Earth made. You establish protocols, rules, systems, the skeleton of a society built by committee in the shadow of extinction. Democracy feels absurd with 30 people, but authoritarianism feels more dangerous. You compromise, as humans always have, and hope the contradictions don't collapse the whole structure. The planet slowly becomes home, though you resist calling it that for years. Earth was home. This is survival with better scenery. Decades pass on your new world. You're aging now, the original crew developing gray hair and existential exhaustion. The clone generations grow up knowing only stories of Earth, treating it like mythology. To them, you're the ancients, the founders, the ones who came from the sky. You still send messages back, even though you know they'll never be answered. It's ritual now, religious, almost speaking to the void in case someone, somewhere, somehow can hear. The silence replies every single time. That's the reality of being humanity's backup plan. You're simultaneously the most important people who ever lived and completely, utterly alone. But tomorrow you'll wake up, check the communication array out of habit, and continue building something that might outlast even the memory of what you're trying to preserve.